Hello everybody, it's Kelly, Black Thread Studio, and today is Sunday, January 14th, 2024, and today we're going to talk about journals. I told you we were going to come back and do that. So I did kind of just throw you a little teaser video a couple days ago. I really have been working on organizing my big sitting room and this room also. The biggest thing that I did different was I took out that white desk that was here and put in this one that I took out of this room to make more room. And I brought up that cabinet from the basement. And I think I got that at Pier 1 probably 30 years ago. And it has jars of my seed beads and things like that in there, and I kept running down to the basement to use some of those recently, so I thought I would bring that up. Anyway, I hope you're all well. We have gotten a lot of snow. It's beautiful. It is beautiful, but it's cold, and I think what I'll do is stick some pictures of just in the front yard and backyard with all the snow in case you want to see it. I'll just throw that in at the end. So, oh, I was going to write this down and I didn't. Okay, remember a couple videos ago then when I talked about the journals, and I came across the Girl Treasure books, and that is what I'm going to base my quote journal book on that we're going to work on. And that's when I showed you that I went and got a couple different books and was deciding which one I was going to use, and I did decide. And then in preparing for that, then I found Catherine with K3N on YouTube. Treasure Books and Catherine both have YouTube channels that are fantastic. They're totally different, but fantastic. So as I was watching Catherine, I kind of, she's doing a stitch journal, and I've always wanted to do one, but I didn't know if I would have the time to do it. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys something. Okay, here's the biggest news I can tell you. I have been planning this for a while, and I'm finally brave enough to do it. I'm taking Fridays off. I've taken the last 2 Fridays off, so I had a 3-day weekend, and I cannot even tell you how grateful, just how grateful I am. Number one, that I'm working at a place that will allow me to do that. I'm hoping I can still pay my bills. I'm going to work really hard at it. And that I can have that Friday to spend more time with you guys specifically. Friday is going to be my sewing YouTube days. I'll either be prepping for things that I want to do with you guys, or actually recording and trying to get that out for the weekend. I don't know how often it will be. It is going to be more often than it has, so I think that's really good, but I'm so excited to have Fridays off. It's like giving me some balance and peace and creativity time that I've been needing so bad. Yeah, when I told him, he's like, "You're working tomorrow, are you?" This was Thursday. I go, "No, I'm taking Fridays off," and he just kind of gave me that look, and I said, "Yep." So, okay, I want to show you what I started with Catherine's stitch journal that I'm following from K3N. You can find her. She just has a really cool way about her. I think the biggest thing is that I don't know. I'm not sure what my style is. I have a style, like working on Bring More Flowers. I was going to say Flowers in the Attic. Where'd that come from? Bring More Flowers. But that was based on, I knew it wasn't my colors, but Sam told me to pick that fabric, remember? So I'm doing a lot of pinks and more brighter colors than I usually do. But you know what? I'm almost thinking, we'll talk about this on the next video. I'm almost thinking about not actually tea staining it, like dunking the whole thing, but I'm thinking about when I get it done, the top, that I might spritz it with tea or coffee just to tone it down and take some of that brightness down. If you guys are gasping, don't gasp. And if you think it's a good idea, let me know. But right now it's just too bright. So anyway, I think I did work on it this weekend, and I have some more ideas for flowers, but I think I'm going to tone it down. Okay, so anyway, I am only going to show you what, I'm not going to go like show you how to do this journal. If you want to do it, follow Catherine at K3N. I'm just showing my version of it, okay? So, you don't have to, of course you don't have to do it exactly the way she is. I'm following pretty closely because I'm trying to get outside of my own box. So I'm trying to mix some of what she's doing with some of my own style to see how I can open myself up and maybe create a little bit differently. Like I'm already thinking maybe on Bring More Flowers, Sam's quilt, I might start ripping and tearing some pieces of fabric to put down underneath the background to put flowers on so that it's more layered. Anyway, those are kind of, I'm just hoping to expand my horizons in the stitching world. So, okay, I'm going to show you what, I'm going to bring you down and show you what I've done so far. Here we go. I'm thinking that you guys don't like, here we go. Yep. Sorry. I thought I got a new stand and it was working better. Oh, I'm having trouble. Okay, I'm going to lay this down so you have not so much of a distraction. This was a men's old wool suit coat that I got from the thrift store. And as you can see, I started cutting it up. And I had it sitting here to show you what I did for the quote journal that we're going to do. But anyway, Catherine has, she did a fabric cover like this. And I did, this was kind of really off-white. I don't know if I saved any of it. I did, but I set it aside. Oh, should I grab it for you? Yeah, here it is. So, using this as the ground cloth, you can see this was upholstery fabric I bought, I think at Joann Fabrics. So there it is, before and after with the coffee stain. So I guess this is kind of the look that I'm talking about for Bring More Flowers, is toning down all that brightness. I don't know, I think I like more of a raw look. Maybe that's what I'm thinking, more raw. Not perfect, beautiful in its own way. So this was the before. So I actually have, and then I had an old dish towel that I stained as well at the same time. And then I also did the papers for the book because that's how Catherine did hers. So I used sketch paper like she did. And I didn't do it exactly how she did. I would like to do it again, I guess, and do it probably the right way. I just put mine in a baking sheet and soaked these papers in some hot coffee. I think I did use coffee on this one. And then laid them out to dry. And they're not, I mean, I like that they're not that crisp white, but they could have been a little bit more raw. Anyway, so this was my cover, which I took, I kind of followed what she did, just with different scraps, and I tacked it down. Now I'm not done with this. I tacked it down with this invisible stitch that she shows, and she will tell you that she got the invisible stitch from watching Jude Hill. So this, Catherine then put like a wool blanket on the inside of hers, and she used a strip of cardboard like this that she's using as a spine. I decided that I was going to do mine differently, and as I get farther along with this, I'll show you. But she does have hers folded in threes, which I'm going to do. And my idea is, I punched these wrong the first time, so I have, you can see I marked top and bottom. I punched these, and then as I go along, I'm going to cover this with fabric, and then I'm actually going to glue it down here. But I'm not going to do that till the very end after this year is over and I have all 52, we're doing 52 weeks. So each week she gives you, it's not even a prompt, she actually stitches what she's doing. And, you know, you can rename them, but she's doing hers, sewing it to the paper that will be in the book. This was the first one, which was woven pieces of fabric. And she had a circle. She called it community for all of us, her community of stitchers. And she had a circle for, you know, the never-ending world, community, love. And I represent my circles down here. And then she's writing hers underneath on the back. I like how she left it so you could flip it and see the back if you wanted to. So that's my number 1 page. Community woven together. So then as these get done, I will actually, I'm going to tie these off with some kind of cording. This is my number 2, which was balance between light and dark. And I use little seed beads and, you know, so I just really fun. Up here, I used, this is DMC. Up here I used CC's ribbon. So I've started gathering some things. This was the ribbon that I used for CC the Thread Gather. Look at that silk ribbon, those colors, like that lighter to the darker brown was all in that one strand. So I've got that, and then look at this. What does she, this is mohair. Look at that. So I'll be using this too. And then the DMC that I used for the love, this might be my new favorite color, 355. It's kind of a rusty red. So that's what I have so far. I have all my pages ready to go. So each week as she does another one, I can just grab my piece of paper and get my fabric things. The other thing I did, so it will go something like this. And I'm trying to decide on some kind of cording to attach and then just wind around and tuck in. She showed a bunch of her journals that were like that, and I like that style. Thinking about that, I did pull some things in case I want to use them on this. I found an old broken bracelet that I had that said believe. So some of these are things that I might end up using in this journal. This came off of, I think CC sent me a card at Christmas with that stag and deer, which has meaning, especially to her, that I'll talk about it sometime later. But look at the colors with that. So I thought I might use that on the cover, but it kind of gets lost. I have these little paper beads that I might use as tassels on the end of the cording. I love to do this. I just have colored safety pins, and I tie a little bit of snippets of CC's ribbons on there when I have a little piece left. I don't get rid of those. These I'm going to show you for the other journal. And then this, I'm not sure. I think because it says yes on one side and no on the other, I might put this, make a little pocket to put this in one of the journals, but I'm not sure which one. And then as well as I've been starting to kind of dig into things that I haven't looked at for a long time, because I did do a lot of fabric and paper stitching together, I started digging through some things, and I found this, which is a crocheted ornament that my grandma did. You can see it's nice and rusty. And I thought I would love to either put that on here. I don't know about that, you guys. Or I might use it on the quote journal. So I'm going to start getting the quote journal to show you. As well, I just decided I was going to use this basket, and as I go along, I'm kind of not using all the exact same, but as I get these fabrics that I'm liking for the 52-week journal, I'm just going to keep my scraps in here. Here's a Yo-Yo Hadley made and stitched, like a little pillow that I might use in something. Here's an old yo-yo that I made. I was going to stitch something around it in words, and I can't remember what that was. So as I come across scraps that I might use, I'm just going to throw them in this basket. And I'll be able to use them in the quote journal too, because now I'll show you that. Okay. I'm going to grab, here I'll give you something pretty to look at. I'm going to grab the other two books that I showed you that I had been thinking about. I had a couple of them. So this was the Puddin' Hill. Remember that? I was thinking about using this, and I just couldn't do it, you guys. I couldn't take that apart. I kind of want to go through that. And then I found a couple books where I just took the cover, the jacket sleeve off. This one I probably will use in the future for another one because I like that color. But I'll show you the one I decided to use. I did show this on the video where I showed you the books. It was just off-white with this red binding, and it says, I didn't realize it when I bought it. It says, I don't know how she does it. And I can tell you, over the last few years, as I've been going through my grieving process, sometimes I like to talk to you face to face. As I've been going through, as I've been going through my grieving process, I've had many people, especially my sweet mom, you know, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you're doing it, you know, going to work and just, so I thought, you know what? I don't know how I do it either. I thought that, so this has meaning for me. I don't know how I do it, but I'm doing it. So I decided to use this one, and you can see what I did, and I'll show you a couple of the techniques here. I think I'm going to put you back down now. So I didn't want to buy a lot of supplies, but I did dig through, and I found I still had an ink pad and some old brushes, which I didn't wash out because I wasn't motivated. I just had some regular glue stick from like the dollar store. And then I did buy some new paints because all my paints were kind of dried out. So I just bought, here, I'll show you this way so you can see some colors that were pretty neutral. And I am just going to use these throughout the whole quote journal as I go through and do the pages. So if you can see the plate, how pretty those colors turned out. I just kind of did dabs of all those colors, and then I just swished around. I did the cover, I did the back, and I want to show you what I did to the back. I didn't know if this was a good idea or not. This is following from Treasure Books where she does the edges, and that's my plan, is to not specifically do the pages. I'll do little things here and there. This one is going to be mainly paper, since I'm working on the other 52-week stitch journal with K3N. This one I'll just do paper, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But I did have this fabric that I used for a binding, and I looked at it and it already had that nice fold in there. So I thought, oh, I'm just going to glue that on. So I used my trusty fabric glue. You know which one I use. The Dritz Unique Stitch. It's either called Unique Stitch or Liquid Stitch. They've changed it over the years. There's a newer bottle, so they must be calling it Liquid Stitch. This is a fabric glue that dries clear, permanent fabric glue, and I love it. So I've got that on there. And then I went through, I'm going to do this front piece with you. I just started throwing some cardboard pieces in here. And where's my ink pad that I just had to show you? There it is. This was a little perfect, and I didn't have any sandpaper. Like I said, I was trying not to buy anything, so I found this file, and I just went. Now I did this on the back already. I just kind of edged up this, went over the edges, and then I took this ink pad and I just swiped it to kind of give it that a little worn look. Do a little bit more on the back there. So can you see how I did that? I wonder if I should do this a little bit. Maybe even the edges here. Yeah, that kind of gives it a nice distinct edge. So I think that's the idea while we're doing this, is to just sit and play. So I had the idea, well, I had my ground cloth from working on the other. I can't see, so I want to make sure you guys can see. So I had the idea to do this, a big Q, and then just write quotes out. So that's what I did. As you can see, I used this men's wool. So I just kind of did that invisible stitch and put that down. Then I did one of these, this is stem stitch, and this is just running stitch. I wanted to have a couple different textures. And I did tell you this was the coffee stained piece. Then I went around it with Pearl DMC that was a variegated. And then I just added some other strips to the bottom with my label and another. I love this so much that I just added that on. So now I was going to do this with you guys. I was looking to put it up here, and I think for this book, I think I'm going to do some kind of strapping on here, because as it gets fuller, I want to keep it a little bit closed. So I'm thinking about doing some kind of buckle closure. So in doing that, since I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, I'm just going to kind of move this down and glue it more in the middle. So should we do that now? So I think this is ready to go. If I do add something to it, what do you guys think about putting this on here? My grandma's ornament. Do you like that? I kind of like that. I'm looking at it upside down, but I kind of like it. And I had a couple other things that I had picked out. Do you like that on there? And then I have some charms and a couple paper clips that we're going to do on the pages. I don't know, you guys. I was going to stick a piece of ribbon through here and glue that on. Okay, let's get this glue down first, because I know I'm going to do that. Enough. I mean, you can overthink and overthink and overthink it, right? So you'll see how this comes out. I don't even really, it is expensive. I get it at Joann's. So I try to use it sparingly. You don't need a whole lot. So I'm not going to smear the whole back. Whoops. But I usually do the edges and then kind of just, you know, strip it along. So it stays everywhere. Are you guys liking this? Are any of you guys going to do a journal? A quote journal? So I went back, you'll see as we go on the inside of it, I asked everybody about a month ago, So I have to go back into my text messages and my Instagram messages to find everybody's quotes that they sent me. Okay, you see I got some of that glue up here. I'm just going to wipe it away. It's going to dry clear. I'm upside down, so I'm hoping that looks okay. This glue just, it doesn't completely dry really quick, but it gets to a point where, you know, it's just there. Okay, I do think I'm going to use this because I'm going to leave this out on my coffee table and just write quotes in it. And then when I look at it, I'll be able to see my grandma's. Do you like it kind of more off? Or is it better? Yeah, that looks pretty good. I want to see this rusty part though. I want that to show up. Okay, that's how I'm going to do it. So I might, I was thinking about coming back and just doing some little decorative stitches in here. I don't know if I'll do that or not. I'm just going to glue some of these thicker points down and on the ends. Well, you can see it's not really taking a whole lot, and this will stick down. Okay, now let's find that rusty spot again, or do I want it up here? Do you see it better up there? Okay, enough is enough. I'm just going to put it here. I end up putting it up here. Now the other little buckle, I kind of like that, but I think I want to stick some ribbon or something through there before I glue it down. So I'm gonna hold off on that and see what I'm gonna do. And then I think I'm gonna do some kind of strapping with a buckle. Okay. Okay, so this is what I did. I went through, this book looked like it was kind of interesting because as I started reading, so what I did is, like the very first page, I mean, remember the title, I don't know how she does it. The very first page had this definition for juggle, and I thought that was so cool. So what I did, and I'm sure if you guys are scrapbook junk journaling girls, you've seen this before, where you take the wax paper and you just rip it. I want to have all. So I've done this a couple times, and then you just crumble it. And then I just use the glue stick, which you could probably use Mod Podge or something, I guess. I just used a glue stick and put that over the juggle, just to have it be a little bit different. And then I did the edges with a little bit of paint. So, and I found a quote on juggling that says, "I am more proud to juggle life than not live life." So I put that in there. So here's the idea, is just to write quotes in there. If I come up with some kind of paper embellishment, I'm probably going to do that. So number one, I did the wax paper over that again, home, which number one, home. So for this one, I actually did Psalm 139, 23 through 24. You guys put up with me, and I really love you for it. Now you're crooked. Okay, hold. Okay. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. And then the next one, now some of these I still have to embellish them. I just got the quote written in there, so that, so I know which ones I'm gonna use. So that one, I start out with Sam, Bring More Flowers. Paige has this tattoo. My mom used to say, she has the tattoo on her foot. My mom used to say this all the time to us, you know, you didn't clean up your room. And we go, so, and she go, sew buttons on ice cream. I don't know if you guys have heard that before, but, and I'll find some really cute embellishments to put on here. But like I said, right now, this was my sister's. Deb, fate whispered to the warrior, you cannot withstand the storm. She whispered back, I am the storm. My niece Jade, this chapter 2 was entitled Work, and Jade's quote was, the most important work is the work we do on ourselves. And that she just said to herself, or to me in a conversation we were having. And I said, Jade, that sounds like a quote, the perfect quote. And she said, I thought the same thing. My sister Tracy said, kindness matters. So as long as we're on Tracy's page, this is what I was going to show you. So that's how I went. I'm going to show you, I have Elaine's, and then I'm going to show you more on Sarah's page, and then I'll show you something on Tracy's page, because I decided I was going to embellish hers. So let me bring it back down. Okay, so in Treasure Books, the girl that does those, I'm trying to see what I can put on here to hold that down, to weight that down. She took all these, she takes strips of paper and just old ribbon or fabric and just kind of does this ruching on here, which I thought was such a cute idea. So I just stacked up a couple pieces of the fabric that I used when I did that woven part of that other journal. And again, I thought, well, this is a little bit too white for me. So I'm just gonna take that pad. There's a brown ink that's a distressing pad that I used to have, but it was all dried out. So if I'm going to be doing this again, I might invest in some more of those supplies. But there. So I kind of dirtied that up a little bit. So the Treasure Book girl, she has longer ones that go all the way down. Again, I'm just starting this and trying to start getting some ideas, so I'll know what I want to do and what kind of supplies I want to look for. But is that going the right way? Yes. So I'm just going to glue this on. I don't even care right now if I'm using I mean, what should we be using? Archival glue, or I don't know. All that scrapbooking stuff, I've kind of gone by the wayside for me because I've moved so many times and lost it and given it away. And okay, so that's down. What do you think? The only thing I realized when I started writing some of these quotes, like for Paige, is I did it too close to the edge here, and I didn't leave myself enough room to decorate that edge. So that's something that I have to watch for, if that's what my plan is to do. And maybe I won't do every single one, but it would be pretty, wouldn't it? Okay, now I don't like where this met, and that's kind of a big separation here. So I really wanted to maybe look for a charm or something. Oh, you know what? Let's make it really easy and do that key. How about Made with Love? Kindness Matters, Made with Love. Well, this is the kind of stuff that you could just spend forever working on, but I do like that key on there, don't you? Okay. let's use the trusty liquid stitch. This is just actually a plastic key. I have cases of these little tubs like this. I have all kinds of, not buttons, but charms and little doodads. Now what I'm thinking is that safety pin I had, actually this too, look at this. That was from my old scrapbooking days, that copper looking little paper clip. I'm just gonna stick that up there. Put the keys on. And I can always come back and just add more stuff. But again, this is just to get us started so you guys can see what I was talking about and what I want to do. So there's Tracy's page. Okay, let me find Sarah's. Now Sarah, I have to go back and find her quote. Sarah is my friend in England and who is an awesome creative stitcher. So Sarah, I loved how this blue and those colors of the paint came up. I want to show you when I did that. Can you see that these pages got stuck together and dried together, and when I pulled it apart, some of that ripped, and I just thought that added to the whole look of what we're trying to do. So Sarah sent me this tissue paper, a whole lot of it, when she sent my Christmas and birthday gifts. So I ripped off a little piece of it, and I did the same thing I did with the wax paper. I crinkled it up and I put it here. And then I also thought I'm saving this space right here for Sarah's quote. I have to go find it. But I had this ribbon that I ruched on here that I thought looked pretty. And I don't even know if I'm going to dirty up those edges. I might come back. You know what? Why come back? Let's just do it. I think I have to grab some more glue though. Okay, I'm going to just glue this on. And same thing, I kind of thought it looked bare. And remember, this one isn't about stitching. I'm not doing a whole lot of stitching on this one because I'm concentrating on the other one for stitches. But I liked how those came off the edge. And this will be where her quote will be. And again, do you see where I messed that up? I guess it's not messed up depending on how you view it. But I'm thinking I want to put something there. But I don't know what. And I know I don't want to use the package of charms that we already looked at. This one has some flatter, bigger items in it. Let's see what's in here that would go on there. Oh, isn't that pretty? That's pretty heavy though. Let me see if that's, I've had that forever. You know what? I'm just going to use it. That's it. Okay. I'll try to hold it down so I can do this. This will hold this. It's kind of, I'm sure it's not real turquoise, but it came from some kind of bead shop, I'm sure. As a matter of fact, I think I got it at State Street in Madison. There's a really cool bead shop there. I'm sure that's where I got it. We'll put that right there. And then when I find Sarah's quote, it will go on here. So this, I'm not meant to spend, this one isn't meant to spend a whole lot of time on. I just want to have a place. I'm going to write Sarah. here a place to, you know, put quotes as I hear them that I like, so that I'll have one place that I can go look. Now, what I was thinking is, in that treasure books, she took out big chunks of pages. I'm not going to do that. What I thought I would do is, as I go along, I'm just going to, you know, as I find that I need room, I'm just going to rip some pages out like this. I did go through and found, I marked that one. A couple pages I want to keep. I put wax paper over that one. That is the poem, Lavender's blue dilly dilly, lavender's green, when I am king, dilly dilly, you shall be queen. And then there's another page I kept that I thought was pretty cool. The whole page is just X's, like kisses. So I put a piece of the wax paper over that whole page. So I did go through and make sure that I marked a few things just so that I didn't rip those pages out. I haven't spent a whole lot of time. Oh, shopping. What shall we use that page for? But as we go through, you know, I'll rip some of these out just here and there. And then these pages would be really good to use and set aside. So I will put these in my little paper gatherings. Like this was a tag off of, I don't know, it said Ray Dunn. Oh, it was pajamas my sister got me for Christmas. But it already has the tag and the little pin on there, and it's really sturdy cardboard. I thought, wouldn't that be pretty covered with fabric? You know, and use it kind of like as a, I don't know, some kind of marker or tassel. And then I found this old book. I was actually going to do this on Pages page. These are from 2010. It's a whole thing of bookmarks. And so like Sam's page, his birthday was November, so I pulled the November one out. And then I found the June page. I think I'll do on the edge of Pages page. So those are just some ideas. I'm trying to get you back. Those are just some ideas. It's on there pretty good. So you can see as it starts to get full, it will start to stack up like that. And then this is where, oh, let's just try one, where the treasure books girl did, where you can do, here I just have a paper clip. I don't know if this will work or not, and a charm that says wish, where she just sticks some of these either top or bottom or on the side. Which one should I put that on? Put it on put it on this page right here. Well, let's just see what that would look like. So as you get those, then you'll have some charms hanging off too. So that's a cute idea, isn't it? All right, this is going to be my quote book. I'm going to work on some kind of strap buckle and look for my other quotes and get those at least written down in here, and then I can always go back. That's the beauty of this. You can always write down your quote and then go back and embellish it later and do whatever you want with it. You know, so it's an easy process. It doesn't have to be this big pressurized thing. Oh, I asked Jim, what's your favorite quote? Jim, no favorite quote. So anyway, you guys let me know if you're gonna do one too, okay? As I go along, if I do anything really great, I'll show it to you. I am gonna kind of follow up and show you as I go along on Catherine's and this one. because I'm excited about both of them, but this one is it's a little bit more, I was gonna say thoughtful, but the other one's a quote book, so I don't know how much more thoughtful you can get than that. But this one is expressing yourself through stitching and fabric, and isn't that what it's all about? I mean, there is something about feeling that and touching it, even if it's the fabric or the stitches. Like that was a pillowcase I got at Goodwill. This one was, that one was a men's shirt that I got, and the others are just regular fabric. So anyway, I hope you guys have a good day. Next time I see you, I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know if I'll be able to do every Friday or every weekend. It will be more than it has been, and we are going to bring more flowers. I have some new ideas for how I'm going to make more flowers out of yo-yos, kind of expand that and use hexie flowers and combine those. Basically what I decided is that I'm not gonna, I was gonna do stems and leaves, you know, connecting the flowers to the vase, but I'm not gonna do that. It is just gonna be plastered with flowers. I'm not gonna have, there might be a leaf here or there, but I'm not gonna do any stems. I just want it full of flowers. So that's what I'm gonna concentrate on. Once I get it all filled, then that's when I'm gonna start some of the embroidery on it and some of the beading. So if you guys are into that, that will be coming soon, because I really want to get all those flowers plastered on there. And then when we get the embroidery done, I'm going to add another, I was going to make it a regular, not a regular size quilt, but a bigger size, but I think I'm going to keep it smaller just for a wall quilt. So I think I'm only going to do 1 or 2 smaller borders. Maybe should I show you guys what I'm talking about while we're talking about it, because it's up here at my wall. So I know it doesn't look like I did a lot since last time we talked, but I went through and I actually stitched like this one. I didn't stitch down, if you can see that, because I think I might want to be tucking things up back in behind. Those I stuck up there saying that I was going to use them as leaves, and I had a stem coming up, but I'm not going to do that. So I filled in and made a little flower with yo-yos, and I have another flower made out of all these little yo-yos I'm going to put up in here. And then the other thing I was going to talk to you about when we get to that point is, I mean, if you can see, let's see one that's, okay, I mean, even though that's glued on, I know this isn't laying flat, but even though it's glued on, even if it was glued on the edges, look at the difference it makes when it's sewn on and it's nice and puckered. Like these, even though they're that small, they just have a dot of glue in the middle, but once they get stitched on, they pucker up like that and like that. So part of the fun is just getting those sewn on. See, is that not too bright? I don't know, you guys. I just gotta, I want to think about it more before I just start adding stuff, because, you know, I want it to be good. I want it to be really good. So, okay, you guys have a really, really good week. Tomorrow's Monday. I'm going to slip in some pictures of a lot of snow. So I'll see you later. Okay, take care. Oh, and I really mean this. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are great, and I really appreciate it, especially as I'm kind of muddling through trying to get back in the swing of things here. So, okay, have a good week. Bye-bye.